Coding is that bridge which connects imagination to reality. A company named OpenAI launched a chatbot named
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. It is based on generative AI. Gen AI is that AI which generates images, videos, and so much more based on the prompts or messages that you provide to it. In this video, I will be talking about how we as software engineers, programmers, or coders can make most out of it. At the same time, I will discuss, will these Gen AI products or chatbots replace the real software engineers? That's a very interesting question. But before we get into the video, make sure you check out our free masterclasses by industry-leading experts. Link is in the description. Now let's get into the system and check how these chatbots, especially ChatGPT, can help us coders. So this is the URL, chat.openai.com. OpenAI is the organization that created this Gen AI product, and this is one of the most popular Gen AI products. Before getting into trying some prompts for us, for coders, I want to tell you one thing, that here you can see at the bottom, it itself is telling that ChatGPT that may produce inaccurate information about people, places, or facts. So it's very clear that the information, the text that it is generating can be inaccurate, can be biased or harmful as well. So in my personal opinion, people who are skilled in their domain, they can use these kind of bots to automate their repetitive tasks. If you are, let's say, software engineer, every day you have to do a certain piece of task, you can automate such stuff using these kind of Gen AI product. But let's say if you're a complete beginner, for example, if you want to learn programming language using maybe ChatGPT, then I wouldn't suggest it, because it itself is saying that the information that it generates might be incorrect, right? And let's say if I ask it what is Carbon programming language, I'm sure it wouldn't be knowing it, because it is kind of one of the recent inventions, I would say, by Google. Google launched this programming language. For an example, if I show you by typing here, let's give it the prompt. What is Carbon programming language? Carbon programming language, sorry for the typo. So here it is saying that as of my last knowledge updated in Jan 2022, I'm not aware of this programming language. But if you type the same thing on Chrome, it will tell you that yes, Carbon is a programming language which is launched by Google. So that's what the example I gave to you. If you're a complete fresher, if you want to, let's say, learn programming language, or you are a fresher and you want to learn how to develop mobile applications, so it is not the best platform for skilled people, because they are aware that if it produces some incorrect information, they will instantly judge that, okay, ChatGPT is giving something harmful or incorrect message. But you as beginner will not be able to check that thing. So otherwise, like, it's a good platform, and let's check that thing. I'll give it some prompts. For example, if I want to, let's say, create a banner for my Twitter profile, and I want it to be in purely HTML and CSS. This is something interesting which I feel ChatGPT may be able to do, but let's try it out. So I will ask it, hey, can you generate a Twitter banner for me using HTML and CSS, and use the name Soumya Singh for the banner. Well, the piece of code that we need for this one is kind of very simple. I mean, any beginner who knows basics of HTML and CSS can generate it, but let's see how ChatGPT is handling it. So it says, certainly I can provide you with a simple example of this. And they have given me the basic example, like the code, as well as it has given me the explanation that they have created the structure with CSS, and they're asking me to replace the JPEG file with my own file. So let me ask it, don't add a picture, just keep the name. So if we give a prompt like this, so it is understanding the changes as well, which I'm asking. So basically ChatGPT, this Gen AI product, is able to kind of keep context of the previous messages as well. which is an amazing thing because many products are there which kind of are able to talk to you. They can generate stuff based on the message that you give, but they kind of don't keep the context or history of what we have been discussing from the beginning, right? So now let me ask, if I'm, let's say, complete beginner and I don't know like how to go about it. I mean, I got the code, but how should I generate the actual banner? So for that, I will say I am complete beginner and help me. Where should I run this code? How to use maybe IntelliJ. Let's ask this. Yeah, IntelliJ. So if I give it this prompt, so it is giving me kind of steps that you have to create HTML, CSS file, and it is giving me all these steps like go and install IntelliJ, then create a new project. So kind of very simple things it's able to handle easily. So if I follow the instructions that ChatGPT is giving to me, I will open IntelliJ, okay? And it is asking to first install, but I have already installed it, right? It is already in my system. So here we open it up. It's asking to create new project. So I will create a new project. I will call it banner. And then it is telling me that we have to choose HTML as the project type. So this is already HTML. Here we have other options like Java, Kotlin, Groovy, etc. So here we go with HTML and I'll click on create. After that, I'll simply put the code that they have provided to me and I'll see if it's working fine or not. Now, because I know already HTML, CSS, so let's say if I encounter some error or there is something missing, I can myself as well like customize or add something, right? So now I will go here, I'll click new and I'll create index.html file, and I'll paste what ChatGPT has provided. Okay, and now if we run it on Chrome, so this is what it produces for us: a simple like plain Twitter banner which uses the HTML and CSS in the background. So I think you can try it out for some complex stuff as well. Maybe creating some complex website, etc. But now is the time to test it for some other use cases. This was for website, like websites are so simple to make, right? It was able to guide us that, okay, you have to go it this way or that way. Now, let's say I want to create an application. Will it be able to do it for me? Let's try it out. So I will say, hey, I want to create, let's try it out with the portfolio application. Yeah. So I want to create a portfolio Android app. Can you generate Kotlin and XML code for me? Okay. So it is telling me that, okay, creating this portfolio application is kind of a big task and it involves multiple components and layouts in it. But it is saying that I have given some basic stuff to you and you can like take it ahead from there, right? So let's try it out if the code that it has provided to me is working or not. So it has given me design, the activity main.xml. Now I'm able to understand each and everything here which it has provided to me because I already know how to write an application, how to write an Android application, right? If you are a complete beginner, you will be like, where should I paste this or how should I go about it? That's why I said in the beginning as well, if you already know your stuff, you will be able to, use it to the max. Like it will help you enhance your productivity. Otherwise, you will be like, how to go about it? So I highly suggest learn things and after that you can use it to, automate stuff. But still, let's try it out if it is able to kind of generate, yeah. Activity project detail.xml is here. So kind of 2 design files it has created for us. And then we have the Kotlin code. Let's create the Kotlin code for main activity. So here what they are doing, they have created some adapter as well. That means they are using recycler view, right? Or simply they are pressing, okay, and the next button, intent, etc. So I will ask it I'm unable to understand. I'm unable to understand. Can you generate simple portfolio Android app, and let's see if it comes up with something creative or something which is more friendly for beginners, right? And I think ChatGPT can also help you to write documentation. Here, it is very helpful. Like if, let's say, you have written a piece of code and you want to write documentation for the same. Maybe you have an open source project, so you can copy paste the code here and you can ask like, hey, ChatGPT, like, can you create a documentation for this? So it can easily create documentation. But there is where you will need to proofread, you will need to revise if it has written it correctly or not. So here again, it has created two files, you can see, and it has used find view by ID, which is old method of attaching the views with XML. Nowadays we have view binding. So these are the things. I mean, if let's say you are studying from a mentor or you're studying from ChatGPT, you will be like, okay, just copy paste it, but you will not be able to understand, is it using the latest methodologies? Is it using the latest technology or not? Find view by ID is kind of old. We nowadays use a view binding for Kotlin, etc. So let me now copy and paste this. Okay, if you're a beginner, you will not be able to understand where to copy paste and do all those stuff. But because I know, so you can again ask it like, where should I use this piece of code? Like how should I use Android Studio, etc. And if you are a complete beginner, then first of all, the software will be a bit overwhelming for you, the Android Studio, where we develop applications, right? So I will write here example portfolio, or we can say ChatGPT portfolio. And if we use this piece of code, which is activity main.xml, I'll go in here. It is loading right now. And you can see Gradle builds are happening, which means it is kind of downloading all the dependencies, all the Gradle files which are given to it in the build.gradle file. Depending upon the internet speed and depending upon like how much storage your system has, it will take some time. And here we go. So we will open res folder. I know where the XML files are. So I'll go here and I will go in the split section and copy and paste this piece of code. Yeah, let's remove this. And then for main activity, they have given this piece of Kotlin code. So let's copy this and let's put it in here. Let's first check if this much part is working. Let's first see if this piece of code is working or not. So here you can see it is producing an error that this class that we have used here is not yet created. So for that, what we'll need to do, we will need to create a new activity in here. And like I can see ChatGPT has not given any information like you have to create a new activity like this, like that, right? So if you know already, then only you will be able to do it, or maybe just keep on asking it that I'm stuck here or it is giving me this error, what next, right? So the name of the activity is project detail activity.kt. So I'll give it the name here and generate a layout file so that an XML file is also generated for it. And we want it in Kotlin. So here we go, Kotlin, and let's click on finish. So the activity is here. I'll take it from the ChatGPT and put it in here. And now it is telling me that this IDs are not yet created because the XML file obviously is not ready for this one. So I'll go here and I'll go in the split section and add this in here. So this is done, and I think this piece of code should work completely fine. And one error that I'm sure it will produce is we have the project detail activity in here. But let's say if you create the new file using new and then Kotlin file or Java file, then make sure you always add those to manifest. Otherwise, when you run it, it will not work. Okay. Now, if I click on run, so it will kind of run and we'll be able to see the output which this piece of code will create for us. Meanwhile, you can also take the help of ChatGPT for interviews. Let's say you want to prepare for some mock interview, right? And your friends are not there to take interview, or you want to practice. So I'll say, hey, can you help me prepare for interview by asking some questions for SDE role, and you can give more information like it is first round, it is my first round, and press enter. So can you help me prepare for interview by asking some questions? So it is asking some questions here. It has given a question for programming concept, for problem solving, system design, DSA, behavioral question. So you can kind of, practice. You can use it as a point of like revision, right? You can give mock interviews, not exactly mock interviews. Like there are dedicated platforms for that purpose, right? But still, I mean, you can ask it to ask questions from you so you practice better. You can tell that ask some questions from my projects. So I think it will ask you for some input like your resume or something like that. Okay, so it is asking generalized question that describe a project that you worked on and specific challenges and all those stuff. So I think a good place for these kind of things if you want to revise or you want this one as your interviewer, right? Apart from that, you can ask it to generate some algorithm if you want to revise it quickly. So write sorting, or you can say write bubble sort algo. And you can also use it to kind of translate languages. Like right now it has generated the algorithm in Python. So you can see translate this in Java. So it will translate the algorithm for you in Java as well. So kind of it is good for these quick things. And if we see the application that we ran, so we got into some trouble. It is throwing errors. So I know how to resolve this, but you can, I think, paste this in the chat GPT to see how it handles it. But for now, I will go into the build.gradle and I will update the version here. It is asking me to keep it 34 and compile SDK as 34. Then I'll sync it and then I will run the application again. So build is successful and I again ran the project. It should work fine now. Otherwise, you can try it out as well. Like if you encounter some error, so you can ask ChatGPT like, how can I fix this or what are the solution? Like basically for us developers, we already have seen such stuff. We have a Stack Overflow where we ask questions, where we have, other techies who help each other. But again, I mean, ChatGPT is another place I would say. So you can see ChatGPT portfolio. This is how it looks like. When you click on project 1, 2, 3, anything, then a new page is opening up. So it's working completely fine. But I think if you are like complete fresher in this, then it will be very tough for you. Like I already knew how to do all this, so it was very easy for me. So again, I mean, this is for automating stuff. This is for quick things. Like if you want to revise, you want to use it as an interviewer, right? Now I want to talk about a very important thing, which is, will these kind of Gen AI products or for sake like ChatGPT replace the real software engineers who have been writing code, who have been writing softwares from scratch since the beginning? Like they write the code. It is first of all, obviously there are plannings involved, design, documentation, coding. After that, we have to do deployment, writing tests as well, and we have to monitor the health of the project as well. Like we have on calls, etc. So a lot many things are involved. For this question, the short answer is no, it cannot replace, and the long answer is maybe. Now, why I said maybe? Because the situation is very much similar to how it was way back when calculators were invented. So if you remember, there was so much of rumor, there was so much of, anxiety among people who were involved in banking or calculation related jobs. The people were saying that calculators will replace all these kind of job profiles, but we know what the reality is. We use calculator to, save time, to enhance our productivity. It is not like all those calculation related jobs are replaced. I mean, if you give instructions to the calculator, it will do things easily for you. It can't take your job. The same thing is true with this situation as well. I mean, we humans, specifically, if I talk about the IT industry, the tech industry, those coders and software engineers who will be using these kind of AI tools to enhance their productivity will be kind of leading the tech industry. If you stay in the old era, if you kind of continue using the old stuff and you don't keep yourself up to date, then it will be a bit tough for you. So with that being said, I think these kind of tools are here for us to improve our productivity, and these are not harmful for us. I hope you liked the video. If yes, make sure you hit the like button. If you have any doubts or queries, make sure you drop them in the comment section below and we will be happy to answer them.